Good morning, I'm Sophia with NewsScore USA. Tonight we bring you comprehensive coverage of rapidly escalating tensions between the United States and Venezuela, as President Trump intensifies his campaign against the Maduro regime with unprecedented measures that could reshape the entire region. Our top story centers on President Trump's latest directive targeting Venezuelan airspace, accompanied by hints of imminent military action that have sent shockwaves throughout South America and beyond. The Trump administration has taken its most dramatic step yet in pressuring Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, with President Trump issuing a sweeping directive on Saturday that effectively declares Venezuelan airspace off-limits to international aviation. Taking to his Truth Social platform, Trump issued a stark warning that reverberated across the aviation industry and international community. Please consider the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela to be closed in its entirety, the president wrote, targeting airlines, pilots, and what he termed criminal networks. This unprecedented move represents the latest escalation in what has become an increasingly aggressive campaign by the Trump administration to force Maduro from power. While officials maintain their primary focus remains cutting illegal migration flows and drug trafficking from the South American nation, regime change has emerged as an unmistakable objective of these intensified efforts. The Venezuelan government's response was swift and condemning. Foreign Minister Ivan Gil denounced Trump's Saturday directive as nothing short of a colonialist threat, characterizing it as extravagant, illegal, and unjustified aggression against the people of Venezuela. This sharp rebuke underscores the deepening diplomatic crisis between the two nations. However, legal experts point out a crucial limitation in Trump's declaration. The United States lacks the authority to unilaterally close another sovereign nation's airspace. The Federal Aviation Administration had already issued warnings to major airlines last week about potentially hazardous situations when flying over Venezuela, urging extreme caution. While direct flights by U.S. passenger and cargo carriers to Venezuela have remained suspended since 2019, several American airlines continue utilizing Venezuelan airspace for South American routes. The implications extend far beyond aviation. Trump's recent acknowledgement that he has authorized CIA operations inside Venezuela marks a significant escalation in covert activities. Earlier this week, his administration designated Maduro and government allies as members of a foreign terrorist organization, a move officials argue provides expanded military options for potential strikes within Venezuelan territory. During a Thanksgiving call with service members, Trump offered perhaps his clearest indication yet that ground operations may be imminent. In recent weeks, you've been working to deter Venezuelan drug traffickers, of which there are many. You probably noticed that people aren't wanting to be delivering by sea anymore, and we'll be starting to stop them by land also. The land is easier, but that's going to start very soon. Republican leadership has rallied behind the president's increasingly aggressive stance. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina praised Trump's determination, stating, "I very much appreciate and respect the determination by President Trump to deal with the drug caliphate countries that inhabit our backyard, chief among them Venezuela." The military buildup supporting these operations is substantial. The Pentagon has amassed more than a dozen warships and deployed 15,000 troops to the region as part of Operation Southern Spear. This anti-drug trafficking campaign has already resulted in dozens of deaths from boat strikes, demonstrating the administration's willingness to use lethal force. Venezuelan President Maduro has responded by projecting strength and rallying his forces. In a televised address to troops Thursday evening, he declared, "I ask you to remain unshakable in your composure, ready and prepared to defend our right as a nation. We are a republic in arms." Despite the escalating tensions, diplomatic channels remain surprisingly active. Trump administration officials, led primarily by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, continue discussing various military options against Maduro's government. While Trump severed all diplomatic communication with Venezuela in October, he appeared to soften his stance recently, telling reporters that Maduro would like to talk, and suggesting openness to dialogue at a certain time. Multiple administration sources confirm that Maduro and his associates have reached out to the White House through various channels, with ongoing discussions about potential communication frameworks. Reports from the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal indicate Trump and Maduro actually spoke by phone last week, marking a significant development despite public hostilities. Trump framed this potential engagement as humanitarian pragmatism. If he's the leader, if we can save lives, if we can do things the easy way, that's fine, and if we have to do it the hard way, that's fine too, he explained when questioned about engaging someone his administration has designated as a terrorist. Behind-the-scenes negotiations reveal intriguing possibilities. During earlier informal discussions, Maduro reportedly signaled openness to eventually stepping down, though stipulating this wouldn't occur for at least 18 months. While some U.S. officials initially viewed this as a potential solution, the White House ultimately concluded it would only support Maduro's immediate departure. For ordinary Venezuelans, these geopolitical developments unfold against a backdrop of daily struggle and uncertainty. The nation has endured a decade of economic collapse, mass street protests, failed coups, and countless conspiracies, making current tensions feel almost routine. Marilyn, a waitress at a Caracas cafe who requested anonymity fearing government retaliation, captured this resignation perfectly. Will they bomb? Will they not bomb? Who knows? I don't really follow the news, and to be honest, nobody knows nothing. Government repression remains a constant threat despite international attention. Human rights organization Provea documented at least 54 detentions for expressing dissent in October alone, with some arrests occurring simply for sharing anti-Maduro messages on WhatsApp. This atmosphere of fear ensures that while potential U.S. strikes occupy everyone's thoughts, such discussions remain confined to private conversations. Public life continues with surreal normalcy. Christmas carols and Black Friday advertisements blend seamlessly with Maduro's almost daily television appearances, creating a bizarre juxtaposition of commercial festivity and authoritarian messaging. Maduro's defiant rhetoric has intensified alongside American pressure. On Monday, he proclaimed that regardless of U.S. actions, they will not be able to defeat Venezuela, claiming the South American nation remains invincible. This defiance reflects his strategy of portraying external threats as validation of his leadership while dismissing domestic opposition as foreign manipulation. The broader regional implications cannot be understated. Other Latin American nations watch nervously as this confrontation unfolds, with many fearing the precedent of U.S. military intervention. Economic markets have responded to uncertainty, while migration patterns may shift dramatically depending on how events develop. International observers note the complexity of potential outcomes. Military action could destabilize the entire region, while continued sanctions may deepen Venezuelan suffering without achieving political change. The involvement of other global powers, including Russia and China, adds additional layers of complexity to any intervention calculations. As tensions continue escalating, both sides appear committed to their respective positions. Trump's administration shows no signs of backing down from its maximum pressure campaign, while Maduro demonstrates equal determination to maintain power regardless of external pressure. The coming weeks may prove decisive in determining whether diplomacy can prevail over military confrontation or whether the Western Hemisphere will witness its most significant armed conflict in decades. This developing story continues to evolve rapidly, with implications extending far beyond U.S.-Venezuelan relations to encompass regional stability, international law, and humanitarian concerns. We'll continue monitoring all developments and bring you the latest updates as they unfold. Stay tuned to NewsScore USA for comprehensive coverage of this critical situation. Please do subscribe for latest updates.